Hello and welcome. If you're over 70, there's a topic most people avoid. But it's time we talk about it openly: masturbation in your senior years. Yes, it's natural, it's normal, but there are 8 important things you must know to protect your health, your energy, and your well-being. But before we start, do like and subscribe the video. Number 1. It's still normal. When people reach their 70s or 80s, there's often an unspoken belief that sexuality no longer has a place in life. Many seniors feel that intimacy, desire, or even self-pleasure is something reserved for younger years, but the truth is very different. Sexuality does not come with an expiration date, and it's important to understand that even at 70 or beyond, your body can still experience desire, stimulation, and pleasure. It's a part of human biology that continues for as long as the body is alive. Just because society doesn't talk about it openly doesn't mean it's abnormal. In fact, continuing to explore your body and your desires can be a sign of good health and vitality. Many seniors carry unnecessary guilt when it comes to masturbation. They think, "Am I too old for this? Shouldn't I stop by now?" That kind of thinking usually comes from outdated cultural beliefs or messages we've heard growing up. In reality, your body still responds to touch, still releases hormones when stimulated, and still benefits from the positive effects of orgasm. These responses are completely natural. If you find yourself feeling desire, it doesn't mean you're strange or inappropriate. It simply means your body is functioning as it should. Another point to remember is that the brain plays a powerful role in this process. Sexuality isn't only about the body, it's also about the mind. As long as your mind is alive and curious, the drive for intimacy will continue. Studies have shown that older adults who remain sexually active often report higher levels of happiness, better emotional balance, and a stronger sense of identity. That includes masturbation, which can be a safe and private way to meet your needs without depending on a partner. Normal doesn't mean only what others expect, it means what keeps your body and mind in balance. It's also important to challenge the stigma. People in their 70s and 80s grew up in an era when sexuality was not openly discussed, and as a result, many carry a silent shame. But today we understand more about health, aging, and the human body. Self-pleasure is not only common, it's part of how many seniors maintain a sense of independence. For some, it helps reduce stress. For others, it eases feelings of loneliness. For many, it's simply a way to enjoy the body they've lived in for so many decades. Far from being abnormal, it's a reflection of how the human body naturally works. Think of it this way: eating, sleeping, and stretching are all things we do throughout our entire lives. Nobody tells a 70-year-old that they should stop eating food or that they should stop going for a walk. Sexual expression is the same. It's a natural function of the body, and it doesn't just disappear with age. What does change is how we experience it, how we respond, and sometimes, how much energy we have. But the fact that it continues to exist shows that it's not abnormal. It's a natural rhythm of life that stays with us, no matter how many birthdays we've celebrated. 2. Blood pressure matters. When someone in their 70s or 80s engages in sexual activity, whether with a partner or alone, one of the first things that happens inside the body is a rise in heart rate and blood pressure. This is the body's natural response to arousal. The heart begins pumping faster, circulation improves, and more oxygen flows throughout the system. For many people, this is actually beneficial, almost like a light cardiovascular workout. It helps keep the heart active, improves blood flow to different organs, and supports overall vitality. But for seniors who may already be managing conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, or weakened arteries, this natural spike can sometimes create extra strain on the body, and that's why being mindful is so important. It's easy to underestimate how powerful these physical responses can be. Even though masturbation is considered a private and gentle activity, the body doesn't differentiate much between solo arousal and intimacy with a partner. The heart still works harder, the vessels still dilate, and the body still goes through the same cycle of excitement and release. For most healthy older adults, this isn't a problem. It can actually feel energizing and rewarding. But for those who experience dizziness, chest tightness, or unusual fatigue, it may be a sign that the cardiovascular system is under more stress than it can comfortably handle. Paying attention to these signals is essential because the body always communicates its limits. Some seniors might wonder, does this mean I should stop? The answer is no. In fact, regular sexual activity, including masturbation, can help maintain heart health by keeping circulation active. What matters is the way it's approached. Just like exercise, intensity and duration make a difference. Gentle pacing, using relaxation techniques, and avoiding sudden bursts of exertion can make the experience both safe and enjoyable. If someone already takes medication for blood pressure or heart rhythm, being consistent with treatment also helps the body handle these natural rises without complications. Another factor to consider is emotional stress. When someone feels guilt, shame, or anxiety during the act, the body can react with even higher spikes in blood pressure, almost like an adrenaline rush. For seniors, this extra pressure can be more challenging to manage. That's why creating a relaxed and comfortable environment makes such a big difference. Calming the mind and allowing the body to respond naturally reduces unnecessary strain on the cardiovascular system. It transforms the experience from something that could feel stressful into something that feels healing and revitalizing. Hydration and breathing also play an underrated role. Dehydration can thicken the blood and make the heart work harder, while shallow breathing can increase tension in the body. Simple habits like sipping water before or after, and remembering to breathe deeply during arousal, can make the difference between feeling drained afterward and feeling balanced. The idea is not to eliminate pleasure, but to align it with the body's current capacity. Masturbation at 70 or 80 is not inherently dangerous, but it does require awareness. The heart is still strong, but it deserves respect for the decades it has already carried you through life. 3. Joint and muscle strain. As people age, their bodies go through a number of changes that can make certain physical movements more challenging than they once were. Muscles lose some of their strength, joints become stiffer, and flexibility is not what it used to be. That means even simple, everyday actions like bending over, turning in bed, or sitting down in a chair may require more effort than before. When it comes to masturbation, this reality also applies. The physical movements involved, whether repetitive hand motions, shifts in body position, or tightening of certain muscles, can create unexpected strain in areas that are already sensitive or weakened. Many seniors find themselves surprised when they experience soreness or stiffness afterward, because they don't immediately connect those aches to such a private activity. Repetitive motion is one of the key factors. For younger people, the muscles and joints can usually handle these actions without difficulty, but in the 70s or 80s, the same movements can place stress on the wrists, elbows, shoulders, or even the neck. Arthritis is common in older adults, and when joints are already inflamed or stiff, activities that involve gripping, squeezing, or rotating the wrist can aggravate the discomfort. It might feel minor in the moment, but over time these small strains can add up, leaving the joints sore or tender. This doesn't mean someone should stop altogether, but it does mean they should be aware of how their body responds. The lower back is another area where strain often shows up. Many seniors already deal with spinal changes, such as degenerative discs or reduced cushioning between the vertebrae. When a person engages in sexual activity, they may arch, twist, or hold themselves in positions that put extra stress on the lower spine. What seems like a harmless few minutes of tension can result in back stiffness that lasts for hours or even days afterward. Adjusting body posture, using pillows for support, or finding positions that reduce pressure on the spine can make a major difference. It's about working with the body instead of against it. Muscle cramping is also a possibility. Older muscles may not respond as quickly as they once did, and if blood flow is reduced in certain areas, holding a position for too long can trigger sudden tightness or spasms. This is why stretching and staying generally active throughout the day is so important for seniors. A body that is more flexible and better conditioned will handle these physical demands with less resistance. Even light stretching, walking, or gentle yoga can help improve circulation and reduce the risk of discomfort during sexual activity. Comfort plays a central role in reducing strain. Seniors sometimes feel pressure to keep up with the pace they had in younger years, but that expectation is unnecessary and even harmful. There is no need to rush or force movements. Taking time, pausing when needed, and focusing on relaxation allows the body to stay in harmony. Using supportive surfaces, adjusting hand positions, or even switching hands can help distribute the effort more evenly across the muscles and joints. These are simple but effective adjustments that can prevent unnecessary pain afterward. 4. Hydration is key. As people age, one of the most overlooked aspects of health is hydration. Seniors are more likely to become dehydrated for several reasons. The sense of thirst naturally decreases with age, so the body doesn't always send strong signals when fluids are needed. Medications for blood pressure, heart disease, or other conditions can also act as diuretics, causing the body to lose water more quickly. On top of that, some older adults reduce their fluid intake intentionally to avoid frequent trips to the bathroom, especially at night. All of these factors create an environment where the body is running on less water than it truly requires. When sexual activity, including masturbation, is added into the mix, the body uses even more resources, and the absence of proper hydration can make the experience less comfortable and more exhausting. Hydration plays a role in circulation. When the body is dehydrated, blood becomes thicker, and the heart has to work harder to pump it through the vessels. During sexual activity, blood pressure and heart rate naturally rise, but if dehydration is present, that added workload can leave a person feeling fatigued, lightheaded, or even dizzy afterward. In contrast, when the body is well hydrated, circulation improves, energy flows more easily, and the overall experience feels less draining. For seniors who already deal with fluctuations in blood pressure, making sure they have adequate fluids before and after activity can help reduce unnecessary strain. Another factor to consider is lubrication. As the body ages, natural lubrication often decreases. This is true for both men and women, and dryness can lead to irritation or even microtears in sensitive skin. Adequate hydration helps the body maintain moisture levels, but it may not always be enough on its own. Drinking water consistently throughout the day supports skin elasticity and tissue health, making physical touch more comfortable. Without it, friction can feel harsher, and discomfort may discourage someone from continuing an otherwise healthy habit. In some cases, combining proper hydration with external lubricants creates the best outcome, but it starts with the simple habit of drinking enough water. Energy levels are also directly connected to hydration. When the body is short on fluids, metabolism slows down and muscles don't receive enough oxygen. This can lead to cramping, weakness, or an overall sense of tiredness. For seniors, these effects may be more noticeable because their bodies don't recover as quickly as they did in earlier decades. Masturbation, while a private and personal act, still uses up energy. Muscles tense, the nervous system fires signals, and the body goes through a cycle of arousal and release. Without enough water in the system, recovery afterward can take longer, and the person may feel drained instead of refreshed. Even small changes in hydration can have a noticeable effect. A single glass of water before engaging in activity can prevent dizziness, improve comfort, and make the entire experience smoother. Consistency matters most, though. Drinking small amounts regularly throughout the day keeps the body in balance, while long stretches without fluids create an uphill battle for the heart, muscles, and skin. It's not just about quenching thirst, it's about preparing the body to function at its best, no matter what age a person has reached. 5. Sleep affects sleep becomes more delicate as people age. Many seniors find themselves waking up several times during the night, either to use the bathroom because of discomfort, or simply because the body no longer produces the same levels of melatonin that it once did. Restless nights can lead to daytime fatigue, irritability, and even memory lapses. In this context, masturbation may play an interesting role. For some, it serves as a natural sleep aid. The release of endorphins and oxytocin that follow orgasm help the body relax, calm the nervous system, and create a state of drowsiness that makes it easier to drift off. This can be especially helpful for older adults who struggle with insomnia or racing thoughts at bedtime. A few minutes of private relaxation can provide the gentle push the body needs to settle into a deeper, more restful sleep. However, the response is not universal. While many experience relaxation, others may feel more awake afterward. This often depends on timing, overall health, and personal body chemistry. For example, if masturbation is done in the middle of the night, it can sometimes make it harder to fall back asleep because the body interprets the stimulation as a burst of activity. The increased heart rate and blood flow may energize rather than calm, leaving someone tossing and turning afterward. This doesn't mean it's harmful, but it does suggest that paying attention to how one's body reacts is important. Every person has a slightly different rhythm, and what promotes sleep for one senior might have the opposite effect for another. Hormones also play a role. With age, levels of testosterone and estrogen naturally decline, but the body still produces dopamine and prolactin during sexual release. Dopamine provides the initial feeling of pleasure and alertness, while prolactin contributes to relaxation and the sensation of winding down. If the balance tips more heavily toward dopamine, the person may feel stimulated instead of sleepy. If prolactin dominates, then relaxation is more likely. Because hormone levels can fluctuate daily, the effect on sleep may not always be consistent. Seniors may notice that sometimes the experience helps them drift into peaceful rest, while other times it seems to give them a second wind. Another factor to consider is mental state. If masturbation is approached with guilt, shame, or anxiety, the stress response can overpower the natural relaxation that usually follows. The body may release cortisol, a stress hormone, which keeps the mind alert and interferes with sleep. On the other hand, when the activity is accepted as a natural and healthy part of life, calming hormones are allowed to take center stage. This highlights the importance of mindset in shaping the overall outcome. The body and mind work together, and how one feels emotionally during and after the act can determine whether sleep is helped or hindered. Environmental factors can also make a difference. A comfortable, quiet, and dimly lit space supports rest, while bright lights or distractions may keep the body awake. Timing matters as well. Engaging earlier in the evening may give the body time to return to balance before bed, while doing so right at bedtime can either lull someone to sleep or unexpectedly wake them up. Experimenting with timing and observing personal reactions is often the best way for seniors to discover how this aspect of their life influences their sleep patterns. Number 6. Hormonal balance. Hormones continue to influence the body well into the later decades of life, even though their levels naturally decline with age. When a senior engages in masturbation, the body still responds by releasing a variety of chemical messengers that affect mood, energy, and overall well-being. Endorphins, often called the body's natural painkillers, flood the system and create a sense of calm and contentment. These endorphins are not just about pleasure. They also reduce stress, ease tension in the muscles, and help the mind feel lighter. For someone in their 70s or 80s, this can be a meaningful benefit, especially during times of loneliness or when the day has been filled with worry. Another hormone that plays a role is oxytocin, sometimes referred to as the bonding hormone. Even though people often associate oxytocin with intimacy between partners, the body also releases it during solo sexual activity. This hormone fosters feelings of closeness and security, even when no one else is present. For seniors who may live alone or spend much of their time without social contact, these moments of hormonal release can provide a sense of connection and comfort that is deeply valuable. The feeling may not replace companionship, but it does provide the body with a natural way to counter feelings of isolation. Dopamine is another important factor. It fuels motivation, excitement, and the sense of reward. As the brain responds to arousal, dopamine levels increase, giving the mind a temporary boost of focus and alertness. This can help counteract the slower energy levels that often accompany aging. For some, the rush of dopamine provides a much-needed lift in mood, acting almost like a spark that brightens the day. It reinforces the idea that sexuality is still an active and rewarding part of life, no matter the age. Prolactin also plays a critical role in the process. After orgasm, the body produces prolactin, which is associated with relaxation and satisfaction. This hormone contributes to that post-release calm where the body and mind settle into a more restful state. For seniors who struggle with restlessness, this can be a valuable aid in finding balance and reducing mental chatter. The combination of dopamine before release and prolactin after creates a natural cycle of stimulation followed by deep relaxation, a rhythm that benefits both body and mind. It is true that testosterone and estrogen levels decline significantly with age, and these shifts influence sexual function. Men may notice changes in arousal or stamina, while women may experience dryness or reduced sensitivity. However, the presence of other hormones released during masturbation shows that pleasure is not just dependent on reproductive hormones. The body is capable of responding in positive ways even when testosterone and estrogen are lower. This reinforces the idea that sexual activity, including self-pleasure, is not only possible but can continue to bring health benefits well into later life. The overall effect of these hormonal changes is more than just momentary pleasure. They contribute to mental health, reduce the risk of depression, support better emotional stability, and even play a role in regulating the immune system. For seniors, maintaining a sense of hormonal balance through natural activities like masturbation can be a way to keep both body and mind engaged, nourished, and resilient. Conclusion: life after 70 is often painted as a stage where joy and vitality fade, but the truth is much brighter. The body may change, energy may flow differently, and routines may slow down, but the human capacity for pleasure, connection, and self-care never disappears. Exploring intimacy with yourself is not about age. It is about honoring the body you have lived in, cared for, and carried through decades of experiences. Every heartbeat, every breath, and every moment of comfort you create for yourself is a reminder that you are still alive, still deserving of joy, and still capable of nurturing your own well-being. By listening to your body, respecting its limits, and embracing its strengths, you continue to live fully, proving that age is not the end of desire. It is simply a new chapter of it.